Hello and welcome to Access Asia. I'm Delano D'Souza. Coming up, could artificial intelligence be coming for blue-collar workers like housekeepers? Humanoids in South India being trained on how to replicate household tasks like laundry and cooking. With India an AI partner country at VivaTech in Paris, we'll be speaking to one health tech firm to find out how artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the field of medicine. And Narendra Modi says football connects India and France, but why is a country of 1.4 billion people not equipped to send a squad to the World Cup? Imagine a world where robots clean and cook for you, fold your laundry, or even grow vegetables in your garden. Well, in southern India, thousands of workers are training AI humanoid robots on how to replicate human work. A cause for concern in a country where youth unemployment remains stubbornly high. Or Chloe Dupuis reports.
Each morning, when she starts her shift at this factory in southern India, this textile worker isn't just labeling bags. She's also helping train artificial intelligence. Several days a week for the past 5 months, this camera mounted on her head has been recording her every move on the job. The footage is then sent to a company developing humanoid robots.
The camera has to be perfectly straight to film my work properly.
By doing this, she earns an extra €2.30 an hour, on top of her regular wages. Aren't you worried that one day a robot could replace you?
What can I say? I'm recording data on the job I'm doing in the name of artificial intelligence. Of course I worry about it.
In recent weeks, dozens of videos have mushroomed on social media, with Indian workers filming themselves in factories or construction sites. Artificial intelligence needs huge amounts of visual data to learn.
Let's start.
At this company, workers generate around 1,000 hours of video footage every day.
This is right, okay?
With these mechanical claws, they spend hours performing simple tasks to mimic the movements of robotic hands, a job that pays €250 a month.
Robotics don't understand how to towel fold in our cupboard, arranging, because we give our data in our robotics. It's easy to understand and grip on the towel.
Founded by an Indian entrepreneur, the company works exclusively for overseas clients, largely based in the US. It produces training videos for robots that could one day work in our kitchens, bathrooms, and living rooms. Repetition is key. This AI graduate spends half his workday doing the same movements over and over again.
We now have to place the pencils horizontally and by their color shades.
He's convinced robots will soon be part of our daily lives and isn't worried about the future.
We can't stop something that humans tend to know about. So we have created the verge of robot. We can't stop it by now.
With its vast low-cost workforce, India has become an ideal testing ground for AI.
Hi everyone.
This man came to hand out smartphones to farmers working in the fields, asking them to gather data.
Wear it like that, okay?
If they agree, they'll earn an extra €1 an hour. Never mind if robots take their jobs in the future. What matters is a good income right now.
I film myself for 5 hours a day, so I earn €5 extra, and it helps cover my household expenses.
India's ambition is to become a global AI powerhouse, hoping to compete with the US and China.
India's Narendra Modi was at VivaTech in Paris alongside the French president with 2026, the year of innovation between France and India. Sigtuple is an Indian health tech firm which is showcasing at VivaTech, and we can now speak to its co-founder and business head, Pranat Badani. Pranat, thank you so much for coming in to speak to us. In layman's terms, what does Sigtuple do?
We at Sigtuple are an AI-powered medical device company. We have two broad focus areas. First is where we build devices which automate microscopy for laboratories. And the second is where we build point of care devices, which are supposed to be placed at doctors' clinics. Right? Both of the areas broadly have a same focus, wherein we automate microscopy and we use AI to identify cells, which can then be reported from anywhere you are.
But why did you decide to get into this? Was there like a shortage of pathologists that
You're right.
you decided, you said there's a gap to fill?
Yeah. So there are three broad reasons why we got into it. The first was basically access to pathologists. India as a country has a very wide disparity between, say, suppose the rural areas
And
versus
urban
the
areas.
urban areas. Second was because the way pathology is today, you have to have a pathologist in the lab looking at the sample under the microscope. Right? When you think about teleradiology, be it your CT scans, X-rays, MRIs, the radiologists can work from anywhere, so they have access. But when it comes to
You have
pathology,
to be physically there.
you have to be physically present in the lab. So which means that more than 90% of the centers don't have access to pathologists. The first was access. Now the second was you may have access to a pathologist, but then it is a manual process where they do make mistakes. All manual processes do have certain errors built into it, right? And we felt that this is a mission critical process where quality is the most important thing. We are talking about things like cancer, infections, anemia. And the fact that you can have an AI model which can help the pathologist be better, which can act as a highly trained technician for the pathologist, identify those rarer abnormal cells, the doctor's job will get much easier.
So you still would need a pathologist.
You would still need a pathologist for the final approval, but what used to take 10 minutes and the doctor need to be in the lab now takes less than a minute because the doctor gets all the classification done by the AI models, and what the doctor sees from wherever they are, they get access to all the reports remotely. They see all the classification done by the AI with visual evidence. So the AI identifies all the rarer cells, shows it to the doctor can just go through them and approve the reports.
Has Sigtuple ever made a mistake?
There are obviously, because the point is this is a product that was in development for the last 10 years. We have gone through the most stringent regulatory clearances. We are US FDA approved for our first product. We have the CE-IVDR clearances. And across the various pilots that we have done over the last 4 to 5 years after commercialization, we have demonstrated time and again that we have been proven to be at par or slightly better than manual microscopic processes.
Very briefly, why does India have this leg up when it comes to AI and healthcare? Are you getting funding, grants from the government? What is it?
So there are three broad reasons I would say. Again, one is that we have a lot of trained people. So we have access to great talent, which can be kind of used to solve these critical problems.
Tech talent or medical talent?
Both tech talent and medical talent. The second I would say is the prevalence of data, because you would probably know that India as a country has the best of the facilities and the worst of it.
Yeah.
So what we do get access to is a lot of data coming in from across the spectrum. So you have places like France and other developed markets where you can build AI, but it may not work once it's taken to the not so developed markets, because they might not follow the absolutely well-trained policies of kind of making those slides and doing those analytics. What we do is, because we have such a wide various of data coming in, our AI models are significantly more robust to input variation.
Bernard Belani, thank you so much for coming in to speak to us.
And thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Now, as the Indian Prime Minister wrapped up his visit to India, he spoke about how football fever connects both India and France with the World Cup underway. The sport generating much interest in football-crazy Indian states like Goa and West Bengal, and major cities too. But with 48 global teams vying for the top spot, why does a country of 1.4 billion people not have a squad that's good enough to compete? To talk more about this, we can bring in independent journalist Rudranil Sengupta. Rudranil, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. India is a sporting powerhouse when it comes to things like cricket or even hockey. Why has football been a very different story?
It's complicated. One of the reasons is that you said that India is a powerhouse in cricket and hockey. That's true. But India is only a powerhouse in cricket. Maybe a little bit hockey previously, but not so much anymore. But in most other sports, if you look at also our Olympic performances, they're very poor. We have just a handful of medals across the Olympic history. Um, the core reason being, and there are many other reasons, but the core reason is that the way sports is governed in our country, there's something fundamentally wrong with that. It is very, very politicized. All our sporting federations are headed by politicians, or even former sports people who have become politicians. And they do this because they get a lot of funding that they can then, there's a lot of corruption that they can appropriate. And also they get a lot of free publicity because as head of federations, every time there's some tournament or something, they can be there and they can reach out to the people. But almost no one does it for the sport. And because of this, sports as a whole suffers in India. The cricket is the only exception because the governing body for cricket is a private body.
I know that there are football clubs in India for kids, to teenagers. My nephew is one of those crazy nut jobs who loves his soccer club. Why does this not translate to the big leagues?
Well, again, see, football is such a loved sport around the world that firstly, it's highly competitive. As you can see with the World Cup, the first week of the World Cup, every single team in this expanded World Cup has shown that they belong there. It's highly competitive, and also because it's a team sport, we now know that the way to build a team sport is that kids have to start playing when they are 5 or 6 years old, and they have to already be in a system that knows how to do things in the right manner to make them progress to various levels. Unfortunately, in India, we don't have that because we have a governing body that doesn't work, and then because the sport is popular only in pockets, like you mentioned, in Bengal, in Goa, in Kerala, and the 7 northeastern states. So you've out of 28 states and 8 union territories, you've only got 7 plus 3, 10 states where football can claim to be the sport of choice and not cricket. And unfortunately, these are not the 10 states that are also the most important economically in India. They're quite backwards economically as well. So you don't get a lot of investment. So as a result, the quality remains where it can when you look at the lack of investment and the lack of effort and the lack of direction from the federation itself.
Rajunil Gupta, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. And that's it for this edition of Access Asia. From all of us on the team, thank you very much for watching.